Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Guitar Souls podcast. This is episode number 38, was that right? We literally just checked this, and it's already escaped my mind.
You literally checked it.
Yes, but you were here.
I was here, yes, but I was definitely here in body, not in mind.
Yeah,
yes,
good.
let's say 38.
Yeah, let's go 38. 39, 40, it exists. We are back.
Hi.
Again. Yes, I am one of your hosts, Mr. Levi Clay, and I'm here with my good friend, Mike McLaughlin. How's it going, buddy?
Very good, thank you. How are you, dude?
Yes, mate. Well, no.
Busy.
Terrible.
Not terrible, just busy.
We're dealing in the... it's the end of an era. The end of an era. I'm looking forward to making a YouTube video entitled exactly that. It's the end of an era. Because this is probably the last day we're going to... Well, it's definitely the last day we're going to be filming in this studio. So my life is half in boxes. Mate. It's less the stress, right? I've spent so much time building this studio to what it is now. When I first moved in here, I was literally making videos with like ladders and boxes behind me, like just looking so unprofessional.
I remember trying to hang black paper in your old house on the wall so we could film against that.
Yeah.
So I've been there. I know the struggle.
And I've got to the stage now where it looks good. It looks great. And yeah, it's not going to look great for a while, guys, but it's going to come back better than ever. It's going to look better than ever. It's going to sound better than ever. And we're going to be able to shout and no one's going to hear us, which is cool because we like to shout, don't we?
We just like to make a fucking racket.
Yeah.
That's the Scottish way.
Yes. How about you? Anything new happening in your life?
Nothing too exciting, to be honest, my man. Just getting excited at the idea of getting these new Ormsby guitars for you and I. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Perry had a video up this morning of him QCing some of the Run 9 guitars, so I can't imagine it'll be long now.
I'm so glad you said that. It's a professional segue. Yes, this
Thank you.
podcast is brought to you by Ormsby Guitars, friends of the show. We've been working with those guys. Well, you've been working with those guys for considerably longer than I've had a relationship with them.
Nearly 2 years. I'm shit at pointing when I'm doing it backwards.
It's an odd experience, isn't it?
Yes.
Head on over to Ormsby's website, check out Ormsby Guitars, and I say the same thing every single episode when we do this. You know, my most popular video on YouTube actually features an Ormsby guitar, which I just borrowed from Mike on a whim. Like,
this
let's do
right
a video
here.
talking about multi-scale and fan frets. And people really like that. I am a big fan of the multi-scale things for detuning. So like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They just give you that tight bottom end. So if you're detuning, I still have no idea why you play a 6-string with the multi-scale, but whatever floats your boat.
Because I detune. I'm tuned to B standard.
Yeah. No need.
Plenty need. All the need in the world.
It's
I tell you why, because trying to play party can and stuff with an extra string is not fun.
Yeah. Fair. It's less about how low you choose to tune. It's more the range that your instrument covers. So you can tune low on anything, but if you're having a wide range of tunings, then multi-scale it's the best option that you can go for. It really is. And Ormsby they do top quality stuff and super price conscious stuff, which is the thing that really impresses me. I had a student actually just yesterday. I was playing my my Myers Hydra in a lesson, but we were doing like pop and country stuff, and he's like, "It's not a very appropriate guitar for that, is it?" And I said, "You know what? No, but when you're teaching for several hours, just staring at a screen, you want something that's lightweight on you." And he said, "Yeah, I've been considering getting a headless myself." And I went, "Oh yeah, what have you been looking at?" He said, "Well, the Kiesel factory's just an hour drive from here, so I was thinking maybe that." And I was like, "Mate, I mean, aside from all the horror stories, check out the Ormsby stuff, because the Goliath is the most lightweight instrument I think I've ever held. I'm talking lighter than a piccolo."
It's pretty silly, to be fair. Everybody that lifts that one there is always like, Jesus Christ. Like, you would think that the neck would weigh more than what that full guitar actually weighs. It's brilliant.
Yeah. I'm at that stage in my life. I used to laugh at people who said this when I was younger, like, oh who wants to stand up on stage and play a Les Paul they're just so heavy. When I was 15, I hear people say that and I'd laugh, like, what do you mean too heavy? I can hold this all day, absolutely fine. Well, I'm in my 30s now, and no, I can't.
30s didn't come themselves.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So lightweight guitars, big fan, and the Goliath, absolutely love it. Still regretting the fact that I've not ordered myself a Goliath.
In time.
Sad face. Having said that, of course, the hype is much more me, isn't it? It's just...
I think they're both you.
No, I just mean I'm all about that hype.
The hype man.
All aboard the hype train, yeah. So, yeah, head on over to Ormsby's website, check their stuff out, and get on for a run. I know that sounds crazy to people that are unaware of what they do, but, yeah, crowd run, group, collect orders, payment plans. Go check them out. I'm sure you'll enjoy them.
Or for those who are like the rest of us that don't like to wait, I am very impatient, I must admit. There will be some in stock as well. So you can always check the Reverb store, and there'll be ones you can order right away.
That is actually true. Yeah, I forget that. They're stocked by Guitar, aren't they?
Yes, if you buy in the UK, Guitar do, I think, the biggest range of them. You can buy directly from Ormsby themselves. They'll have their own stock in the Reverb store, and they'll send out, obviously, worldwide. And there's dealers pretty much all over the world.
Good.
So plenty of options.
Good.
Plenty of options.
So, talking of plenty of options, we've got plenty of options today. We've got plenty of things that we can talk about today. Oh.
Plenty of topics for us to just say, why and what the fuck were you thinking?
Yes. So, should we do the elephant in the room one?
Yeah.
It feels bad doing this elephant in the room because obviously I uploaded a video talking about it, but I do like doing that when there's a really heated subject. I like doing a video on my own and doing one with you, because when I do one with you, it's so much more measured and there's an actual conversation. Whereas when I do a Rage Time video,
it's just you ranting.
Yeah, no one can hold me back. I can just...
I mean, you did say that in your video, to be fair. Like, I'm not talking about this with Mike because I just want to go off on one.
Yeah.
Fair?
To be fair, on reflection, when I watched that video back, I was a lot more calm and collected than I felt when I hit record. So that went well. Anyway, so yeah, of course, we are talking about Gibson and their Play Authentic video. We've got some of the video here. We're going to watch that. And then the subsequent revelation, let's go with that they are suing Dean. So just Dean. No
one else.
Not like... you. Obviously, in my video, I make the point of, like, go after the Chinese counterfeiters who are legitimately making counterfeit instruments, right? But actually, go after, like, JHS, like, who make the vintage stuff, right?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
look at you.
I like
contracts and different fucking manufacturers.
I like the vintage stuff. I used to have a vintage.
It's actually better than some Gibson I've played.
Most Gibsons, yeah.
Yeah. So that not being an arse, that's true.
Yeah.
Especially when Thomas Blake was part of the company.
Yeah, and they are priced, they're super budget.
Super good budget.
But that's the point, right? They are priced at a point for people that want to buy a Gibson, can't afford one.
And Fender, to be fair. They do a lot of
Telecaster of course.
And strat shapes and stuff.
Yeah.
But with Gibson being the executioner.
Yeah, why Dean? Why Dean? Anyway, so for those that are unfamiliar with the situation, Gibson's... who is Mark Agnesi? He's not the CEO, he's the head of brand marketing or something like that.
I'm actually not too sure, but you're probably right. Let's look him up. He
used to work for Norman's Rare Guitars, so he's had a career of selling terrible, disgusting counterfeits. In fact, we thoroughly enjoyed the video of him making a song and dance over how much he loved that Ibanez Rocket Roll.
That shape's awful familiar, Levi. Like, have you seen one of them before?
What, that V-shaped guitar?
Yeah. It's got that...
Dimebag play them.
Maybe. It's got quite a distinct headstock shape as well.
Yeah.
Did someone else do that?
I think Dean invented that, didn't they?
I think Dean Zielinski done it himself, single-handedly.
Right, so I am going... Oh, look, our faces aren't on screen. There we go.
Director of Brand Experience.
Director of Brand Experience.
What part of your job for brand experience is you fucking with other companies? Yeah. Like, you're not providing a good brand experience to anyone by just starting shit.
Yep.
Before we even start the video, I'm like...
So this is almost 2 minutes into this video, right? And up until this point in the video, he's just talking about the iconic legacy of Gibson, which you can't really argue with. That Gibson have an iconic legacy of guitars. Unfortunately, their legacy is all they have, because if you want a Gibson, you buy an old one. But then at this point in the video, it takes a really...
Sinister?
Sinister turn, right? So for those that haven't seen it, let's just press play now and listen to what Mark has to say.
That you'd find on the 335 or the Gibson SG. All of those innovations and design elements are trademarks of Gibson. Why does this matter? Well, for a few reasons. People ask us a lot about forgeries and counterfeit guitars, often of lower craftsmanship.
There's a rocket roll behind them. By the way, like I did mean to actually stop him because If you notice that even from the last sentence when he's talking about the headstock of that 339, his tone changes from just giving information and talking about something to quite aggressive.
Yeah, it's very.
His
It's
full
very
voice
serious.
gets very
serious. I'll roll it back.
grated almost, and
just
you
a
can see it in his face that there's something.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been told by someone else up the chain, like, you need to make this and stress this point, or if he's just that passionate and short-sighted at the same time.
Well, for a few reasons. People ask us a lot about forgeries and counterfeit guitars, often of lower craftsmanship coming in from overseas.
Can you imagine something of lower craftsmanship than a 2019 Gibson?
2018 Gibson.
Or a 2018 Gibson? Yeah.
2017 Gibson.
All right, fair enough, yeah.
Not that it's much of an improvement, but...
Yeah, it's actually interesting when you think about it. Could Gibson be considered counterfeiters? Well, no, because they own the trademarks. But in terms of the legacy that they're representing, they make shoddy knockoffs of what Gibson should be making.
Aye, fair point. Very, very fair point.
But there's some common misconceptions about what a forgery is and what trademark infringement is. Any copy of any one of those designs that we've named is, in fact, by definition, a counterfeit Gibson guitar.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's a fucking bold claim, and it's really important that we point out at the start of this video, he's talking about, headstock design and the iconic Les Paul shape and the SG and
the diamond inlay,
the inlays,
crown inlay, the book matched open top head,
the
all that shit.
pineapple inlay. So to say that anything that includes anything like that is a counterfeit Gibson is a shocking especially
fucking
from
stupid
from a company that has made Strat knockoffs. Does everybody remember the Gibson Jimi Hendrix Strat?
Yep, it was probably the worst looking guitar I've ever seen, and I don't know if any sold.
What that means for a couple different people. To the manufacturers out there, we want you to know that you've been warned. We're looking out, and we're here to protect our iconic legacy.
Let's just watch that one more time, because that is absolutely horrendous.
Guitar. What that means for a couple different people.
I love that it gives you the close-up shot of his face, right? And he smiles right before he says it. Like,
the manufacturers out there, we want you to know that you've been warned. We're looking out, and we're here to protect our iconic legacy and the designs that we've created over generations.
You've not created shit.
I think if anybody else released that and it wasn't so much a business comment, that would be taken as some sort of serious threat. Like, do you know who Elliot Rodgers is?
Yeah.
The ultimate gentleman?
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit he did.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I do.
Yes. So, does that not remind you of his video?
Yeah.
Well, it's all come to this.
Yeah.
Just imagine you sitting in front of a sports car before you get into a mall with a pistol. What the fuck?
To all the people in the film and television and commercial industry, reach out to us. We want to work with you. Stop taping over the logos.
Leave it plain.
Yeah, no, it's what he says next that's mortifying. It's like he's trying to scare you. This is a racket right here. He's trying to scare you into giving the money. The next line.
The headstock. By the way, that's not enough to get out of a trademark infringement anyway.
It's such a strange addendum to add to it.
It's just, if people were putting Gibson on the headstock, then maybe. But they're putting tape over it so there is no brand.
Yeah.
Therefore, there is no copyright claim.
Yeah.
Contact us. We want to work with you. We want to be partners with you. We want to help bring authenticity to your projects. And this isn't about us trying to be bullies or trying to stifle the boutique marketplace. This is about protecting our legacy. 125 years of innovation and relevance in music. It's worth protecting, and it's our job, and we will continue to fight to protect our intellectual property. And to all the players out there, what does this mean? Well, it goes back to what we started talking about, being original and playing authentic.
Contact us. We want to be your partner so that you have to pay us money instead of just taping over the logo, because then we can sue you. No, fuck off.
We're talking about a brand here. I'll get rid of that. We're talking about a brand here, not that was built by, but that was kept alive during a very long period by guys like, I don't know, Slash. Sorry, what guitar was he famous for playing?
The Les Paul?
Yeah. Wasn't a Gibson though, was it? It was a Derrig.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a Derrig.
I thought you were getting at that it's a signature to somebody else's guitar and that person's the innovator. But even better.
No, by very definition, Slash, one of your brand's biggest artists
The ambassador for them, really.
made your brand famous by playing a counterfeit Gibson. You know what I mean? Like, just absolutely shocking. So, shocking. You do it.
Shocking, eh?
Yeah. So
Disgusting.
that was the initial video. That went up. And then a couple of days later, it turns out Gibson have sued Dean. So...
They're in the process of suing Dean.
Yes.
Which makes it... Their claim is so wild.
It is worth pointing. Someone pointed this out to me in the comments. I've not checked the validity of this claim, but it would make sense. It was pointed out to me that actually, to be fair, this lawsuit was filed by old Gibson, like Henry era Gibson.
Ah, okay.
And new Gibson are just going through, like, people are essentially trying to use that as a defense. Oh yeah, but Gibson have changed. This is an old lawsuit. No, because if it were, like, you wouldn't have made that video.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, you are the company. You're in charge of what happens with your company. Stop paying the lawyers. Remove the case. Like, drop the case.
Seizes that.
Just drop the case. The fact that they haven't done that tells us one thing very, very clearly. They firmly believe that they are in the right, and they firmly believe that they are going to come out on top, and they firmly believe that they are going to be able to stifle. And this isn't even the boutique market. Like, this is Dean guitars. They're a huge brand.
I like how that was what Mark said there, was we don't want to stifle the boutique music market. Boutique, like, there's nothing boutique about a guitar. You can buy a new version of the same guitar every year.
Yeah.
Unless you're buying something that's like an actual original 70s or something, in which case it's nothing to do with you, Gibson. It's to do with the owner who's had it since then, or whoever's bought it since.
Yeah. Really, it's just a PR disaster, isn't it?
So if their public image was a big jobby, which is a poo, when they had Henry, right? Bringing Mark Ignacio on is literally just rolling that in glitter.
Yeah.
That's what's happened.
Yeah. And
it's like Mr. Hanky, they've gave it arms and a wee hat.
On the flip side, you've got Dean so the CEO issued a statement, right? We've seen this statement, and it was a statement that went out to dealers, because this will have. I think this is why Gibson have done what they've done here, right? I think it's less about winning. I think it's more about creating concern around dealers stocking Deans. Because if Gibson are reaching out to dealers saying, we're currently suing Dean, you stock Dean guitars and you stock our guitars, just to let you know, in a couple of months, those guitars that you have there, those guitars that you're purchasing in order to sell, are not going to be worth anything, because they're all going to have to be destroyed.
That is a threat and a racket.
Yeah. It's
nothing short of...
So Dean have...
Would that count as corporate espionage? Because that is really... Maybe not espionage, but like... I don't know how to describe it.
There'll be a legal term.
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at. There will be something that just mortifying. Having said that, let's talk PR and let's talk silver linings. And so, as I said, Dean have fired back with this. They have said that they will. The claims are all baseless, and they will be defending themselves. And I should point out, for anyone that didn't watch my Rage Time video, rightfully so. Rightfully fucking so.
40 odd years.
Exactly. That's the key thing here, right? You know what? I can look at the Dean V and say, fair play, Gibson. You're right. You are right. You were right 40 years ago. You're not right now. That's like, when you have trademarks, you have to protect those trademarks, and if you don't protect those trademarks, it makes those trademarks weaker. It would be ridiculous to say, Gibson, create this thing, just a thing, and then everyone else looks at it and goes, you know what, that's really cool, we should make that too. And Gibson go, no, I'm going to sue you. Oh, no, hang on. Let's leave it. Let's leave it for 40 years. Let's let this company make millions. Let's let all of these other companies that are witnessing this go, you know what, this is a cool idea. Let's also do this. And then instead of suing one guy that's making these guitars out of his garage, we can sue many multi-million-dollar companies and just rake all the money in from all of them. You can't do that in law. You can't just cast the net out and then reel it in 40 years later with everyone that's fallen into your trap. You have not protected the V design for 40 years. You cannot just suddenly decide that you're going to start doing it now. I mean, to be fair, you can try, but it just won't go well.
I really hope it doesn't go well. I mean, to be a bit of contrarian, I don't have a lot of respect for Dean. given that they pretty much live off the death of Dimebag Darrell.
Fair.
It doesn't mean that their claim to use those shapes is any less valid, because, as you say, you can't allow something for 40 odd years as one of your main competitors. It's not as if Dean's been in the background either. They're a prominent brand.
Sure.
Not massive, not as big as Gibson by any matter of means, but you know who they are.
Yeah.
They are maybe
They're
not
one
a
of the big
household
five.
name, but
They're one of the big five.
yeah, exactly. And let's be honest, Gibson not doing anything for that 40 odd years is saying that it's okay. That you've sanctioned it.
Yeah.
Whether you want to admit it or not, that's what you've done.
Yeah. Having said that, again, playing devil's advocate and in support of Gibson, there are certain aspects of their claims that I think they will win on. I've not looked into this, but they're making claims that Luna Guitars, who are part of Dean's parent company, Armadillo,
The
have
acoustic guitars are Luna stuff, isn't it?
So they have a Hummingbird. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and the Gibson Hummingbird, that is, you look at it in the same way as when Leo Fender released the original Telecaster and called it the Broadcaster. Well, that wasn't going to fly because Gretsch Drums had the Broadcaster series of drums, so he had to remove the Broadcaster name from them, which is why you get the original ones and the No-Casters, because they didn't have anything written on the headstock there, and he had to give it the Telecaster name. So you can't release a guitar called the Hummingbird because that's a Gibson thing. You can't release a guitar called the Modern. You know, Gibson's Modern with the E. And
who would anyway?
Well, yeah.
That's my personal opinion on that. Who would?
Yeah. We're forgetting what Gibson made that, the Roswell V.
Oh.
But this is a company that just takes other people's ideas anyway. It's how this entire thing works. Anyway, so we're talking PR, right? Let me give you something that will make you smile regarding Dean, to show you that they're the good guys in this and they're dealing with this in the correct way. So the CEO, issued that public statement. You won't know the name when I say it. Are you aware of Stay Metal Ray?
No.
Okay, cool. So you will be. I've got reasonably chatty with Stay Metal Ray. He's a YouTuber. He makes pretty good videos, actually, to be fair. You will know him because he is the guy that had the copyright claim issue with Joey Sturgis. He was the guy that made the plugin review and said he didn't like it.
Yep,
and then Joey issued the strike against him, which made his channel blow up. So his channel isn't huge. To be fair, his channel is, I think, he's sitting like 6,000 subs, which is good.
Certainly better than me.
Yeah. When you can get to 6,000 subs, great. His videos get good views, and he makes really, really good videos.
Good.
He made a video on this subject. I'm very kind of him. He'd seen my video first. He cited my video and told people to come and check my video out. In it, he said, "Look, I'm not gonna sell my old Gibsons because I've got some really nice old Gibsons, but I have a couple of new Gibsons. They're already sold." He said, "I had a Flying V. It's gone. I no longer have it."
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. He said, "I had a Flying V." Right. So I went to check the video out because he said, "Dude, I've made that video," and because he checked with me beforehand. He's like, "Would it be okay to mention you?" I was like, "Of course."
That's pretty cool, man. That's a bit of respect.
He's a top level guy. I like him a lot. Anyway, so I went to watch the video and went to leave a comment just to say, thanks very much. Really appreciate it and great video. And you know who I saw in the comment section?
Tell me.
The CEO of Dean.
Saying?
So top comment.
I mean, first of all, the fact that he is an active YouTuber is pretty fucking good.
Awesome.
I mean, that
gets better.
Okay.
Top comment pinned by Stay Metal Ray. The guy saying, "I'm really sorry that you felt that you needed to sell your Flying V and that you feel that you've been caught up in this situation. The very least I could do is make sure that you have a Dean V." That's how you deal with PR.
So basic. Didn't have to offer anything. The fact that he even left a comment is more than enough.
Yeah.
But then to go out his way to say, "It's pretty shit you've been broiled in this. Maybe we can look after you."
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sticking by us.
Customer for life.
Yeah. Awesome. Top level stuff. So you're right. I have mixed feelings about Dean because of the whole Dimebag situation.
I don't know how many different changes they've had in their teams, who sanctioned that and who is okay with it and who green-lighted it, blah, blah, blah. There could be a completely different board of directors and MD and whatever else at this point now and whatever. But I'm the same as you. I've kind of got mixed feelings. However, You can't deny that.
Yeah.
That is class.
It's also worth pointing that the Dimebag stuff is all legally above board.
Oh, of course. And I think it was just as much Rock and Rita as it was Dean. But
yeah. So I've never been a big fan of Dean guitars in terms of, like, they're not my cup of tea. I wouldn't buy one. But at the same time, they have a fan base, and I only wish the best for them. So
Levi's just scared to admit that he's a mosher.
I used to have a Dean. I used to have I bought one. I bought £150 Illuminous Pink Dean.
Oh, the Avalanche series.
That had an Illuminous Pink fretboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, those were interesting.
Yeah, I got one. I feel like I got the green one as well.
Did they not have a black headstock?
Yeah, they did have a black
headstock. They had a matching fretboard and body.
Yeah.
I'm not being silly. That is
I'm going to bring one up. Go on, keep talking.
Pet hate is on finishes when you've got something wacky as a finish, or even something just slightly interesting, that you have a plain headstock. Like, there is so much you miss out on that. Look at some of those guitars, right? There's like oh my god. Judge for yourself. That if it had a pink headstock, I think I'd be super into it.
Just look at it.
I know. I had a Dean myself. I had a Dean Dymo Flame ML.
Right.
It was an interesting guitar. I didn't have it long. For no other reason, it didn't suit me. It was actually a really good guitar.
Just look at it.
I know. It's just file under B for bin.
I bought one just for the lols. It was very much. I was in college and I was like, yeah, I'm playing all this Racer X stuff. I was going to say, have a bright pink guitar.
There is no doubt this is something to do with Paul Gilbert.
Yeah, yeah. And to be fair, as you might expect, that guitar was utter garbage. But yeah, so never been a Dean fan, but I do wish for the best for Dean. And to be fair, I have said this several times. I only wish the best for Gibson as well. But everything Mark says is true. They do have an iconic legacy, and when they got bought out, I was hoping that they were going back to that. I was hoping that they had realised that what we need to do is we need to make instruments that pay respect to the stuff that we've always made, and we need to make the stuff that people want to buy, and we need to make it for the prices that they want to pay. And I was hoping that they'd done that, but evidently they haven't. Anyway,
I think you put it as good as it's going to get with that. I wish them luck, and I was hoping they'd go back to being Gibson.
There's still time. There's still time.
Aye, for a brand that size, yep.
Yeah. Just issue a public apology. Say, you know what, guys, we fucked up. We hear you loud and clear. Yeah.
I believe that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? Too arrogant. No. That's the problem when you're that big. You know, there is no denying the fact that they are not as big as Fender. I'm sure they don't sell as many guitars as Fender, and not for any reason other than their guitars are more expensive than Fender. But they've got to be the second biggest guitar company in the world, right? So there's that level of arrogance that comes with that. I don't need to fucking apologise. We'll just make stuff and you'll buy it because you're idiots.
Well, I think even the way that Mark spoke was he believes they are the biggest boutique brand of all. It's not the term I would put up against it.
Yeah,
personally. However, anyway.
Yeah. So, right, let's move on to some other stuff. I have just a little music radar story here. I'm itching to get my hands on one of these. Rev, our friends over at Rev, supporter of the show, gift givers, and supplier of my beautiful... I mean, you'll never be able to see it.
No.
You know, I often have my Rev...
lit up?
Yeah, the Generator 120. I have it lit up in videos that I do. But, man, that thing gets hot. It's worse than the lights. When I'm done filming with that, you go over to it and you put your hand over the radiator on top, and the heat that's coming off it is ridiculous.
Well, no wonder. What is it, like 4 EL34s?
Yeah.
Like just sitting cooking at 120 watts? Yeah. It's going to be pushing quite a bit of heat.
It's definitely...
The sooner we get to just absolutely like crank that bad boy, the better.
Yeah. Well, the new studio, mate. The new studio. We're about to crank it in there. And even better, I'll have an air conditioning unit put in, like a proper.
Shut up.
A proper wall-mounted.
Don't believe you.
Yep. It's going to be amazing, mate. I can't wait.
It'll be super cool.
Anyway, yeah. So Rev, of course, as I say, I have the Generator amp. It's a 4-channel amp. It has channel 1, 2, 3, and 4. Channel 1 is blue. It's clean. Channel 2 is green. It's kind of like a mild, crunchy overdrive channel. Channel 3 is purple, so like heavy overdrive, and channel 4 is red, which is super mega overdrive. Rev released the G3 pedal, which is the purple, the channel 3. They released the G4 pedal,
I can't imagine that the G4 is more gain than the G3, but I'd love to try it.
know.
But reason being, like, I can't turn the gain all the way up on that pedal, and I play death metal.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so good.
Yeah. So it seemed that the obvious choice was to release a G2 pedal, which is that in-between space, the mild overdrive. Let's see if they release a G1. I don't see it happening. But, in all honesty, it's not because of the quality of the channels. It's because of who I am as a player now. The green channel is my favourite channel on my Rev. Love it. Love the clean channel, of course, because I play mostly clean, but that green channel is just, it's what I'm looking for in overdrive. It's that Larry Carlton, it's that Robin Ford. Like, it's not even volume back, it's pick quiet and it's clean.
Right.
Dig
just
in.
pure dynamic.
Yeah. And pat myself on the back, but I consider myself, when I'm improvising, to be very, very dynamic. Play very quiet and play very loud, because it's that rhythmic swing feel that comes from both rhythm but also dynamics. Accent and offbeats gives you that real kind of swing feel. So yeah, that's how I like to play, and the green channel on that is just perfect for that. So yeah, the Rev G2 pedal, go and check it out. It is available now, I believe. $229 can be ordered from Rev Amplification's website.
And I think it's fair to say, and a lot of the reviews say this, I've actually been watching a lot of the reviews on the G3 just because I was curious as to how everyone else was using them, and people like Ola and stuff, and I think there was another couple of guys, Sean Tubbs, I think, done one.
Yes, yeah.
And but on Ola's, he made a very good point. He's like, this sounds so much almost identical to the actual channel of the amp. Like, maybe this is me ass kissing, but I've never played a preamp pedal that sounds like the preamp of that amp, and it does. I've put my crank away, so in the studio I have my 4x12 with V30s, Magnum 44 power amp, and the Rev, and that's, apart from a noise gate, that's all I need.
Yeah.
And it's fucking ridiculous. I took it to Germany and Switzerland with me, the last two gigs I was playing. And when I was in Switzerland, I set it up, and they had two amps facing into the stage, so it was like on stage sound, but everything was going to the PA. And they had a Marshall head, I think was the lineup, the back line the festival provided. So I plugged the Rev and the power amp, and then the guy came over and he switched the amp on, and I was like, no, it's not plugged in. He's like, what do you mean it's not plugged in? I'm like, no, I'm using that. And he's like, that's your amp. And I was like, that is my amp. That's your amp. I was like, that is my amp. And all I seen him do was go, and he was listening to me playing, and he just turned the treble right up, so the speakers, the V30s in the cab as well, were just so aggressive, and he was just like nodding the more he done it, like, yeah. I'm so happy with that.
Yeah, killer.
It's fucking silly. Fucking silly. If the G4 and the G2 are anywhere near as good as the G3, then there's not going to be anyone who's disappointed by it.
Yeah. I'm going to throw in a little bit of insider stuff here that you and I will appreciate. Some of our viewers will appreciate this one. But yeah, I don't want to go into any detail, but all I want to say is to Kyle, thank you for your service.
Thank you kindly, sir. Look after yourself.
Cool. So let's move on to something. We've had some fun stories. Let's go to the funniest of all. Spotify claimed that it's overpaid songwriters in 2018 and they want money back.
Spotify, which reportedly pays $0.006 to $0.0084 per stream. That's right, fractions of pennies per stream. Fuck off. Just fuck off. Like, I don't have any other opinion than fuck off. As if you're not making it incredibly impossible for musicians to live on, like, the music being distributed any worse than it was before. Somehow, you're now shitting on them by saying we've actually paid you too much money. Like, no, you haven't.
Yeah, you've not paid me
Did Taylor
enough.
Swift not tweet something like, for 24 million streams of my album, I got $70?
Here's the quote. So, based on Spotify's calculation, the company has overpaid songwriters and publishers and now wants the money back. A spokesman stated, actually, so they've been very politically correct and put a spokesperson stated, according to the new CRB regulations, we overpaid most publishers in 2018. While the appeal of the CRB decision is pending, the rates set by the CRB are current law and we will abide by them, not only for 2018 but also for future years in which the amount paid to publishers is set to increase significantly. Rather than collect the 2018 overpayment immediately, we have offered to extend the recoupment period through the end of 2019 in order to minimise the impact of the adjustment on publishing companies. So this seems very odd to me. Does that not imply that due to rates change, that like surely they're going up, not down? Surely rates are going up. Why on earth would we be in a position where Spotify is saying, well, we paid you what we thought we needed to pay you, but evidently we need to pay you less. So rather than taking that money back for you, we're just going to recoup it from what we would pay you this year. The entire notion is ridiculous.
It sounds like tax.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're being taxed.
Yeah.
Your tax bracket was wrong last year, so although it's our mistake, you are obligated to pay it, and therefore we're going to take it for your next payments.
Yeah, absolutely horrifying.
It's just fucked.
Yeah. Having said that, always doing the devil's advocate thing, I still am a fan of Spotify. Still am a big fan of Spotify. Still am a big fan of music streaming services in general, because there's no avoiding it. Like Spotify and Netflix and the equivalents for music and video, they take a significant chunk out of piracy. They really do. You not think?
No, not necessarily. I think if people want to own something they didn't pay for, they will find a way. And is it not really just as bad as piracy? Because really, you should be paid the correct amount for what you're owed for your music and what you think it's worth.
But what we deemed correct in like 2001, the market clearly decided that it wasn't correct, that it was way too expensive. Way too expensive. Perhaps even like I was talking like buying singles from HMV or wherever you happen to shop. Way too expensive. When you look at the iTunes market, which took a small chunk out of piracy, like still people went towards piracy. Whereas when Spotify and Netflix and the equivalents come in, you know, down. Sure, you're absolutely right. Some people are going to absolutely refuse under any circumstances to pay a little bit of money for Spotify. They're going to refuse to pay.
That was you for a long time.
It was me. Well, but it wasn't because I refused to pay money for Spotify. It's because I was okay with buying the music. It wasn't like I was pirating instead.
No, I don't mean it like that. But I mean, you didn't see the value for artists.
Yeah.
I believe was part of the reason why you didn't have
absolutely.
Spotify, because you were like, I want to support people. Hence, you saying you wanted to buy it. You wanted to give them the money directly. And support. But
I think the key thing is, and we all learn this, it's adapting to the way industry changes. When I say that, obviously I'm talking about the music industry, but the thing I'm actually thinking about is like social media. Like I'm still heavy Facebook. I like Facebook. I like promoting and reaching people on Facebook. Whereas actually I need to be hitting Instagram, I need to be hitting Snapchat, because this is where the kids are. If there's a way that I can get on that fucking TikTok.
Used to be Vine.
But who knows how long it'll be around, but the point is like adapting. People that are successful in social media marketing and having online careers for themselves, they are down with the kids. You know, you have to stay up to date and you have to stay relevant. So my approach to Spotify was very outdated, and I needed to accept the fact that this is the way it is. Trying to avoid it is not actually really helping anyone, especially as most of the music that I was buying, to be fair, was secondhand CDs, like old stuff, because it wasn't being produced anymore. So
yeah, and there's a bit of collector's market for that too, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I do a very professional segue?
Go for it.
Speaking of being down with the kids, Manowar. Sorry, I couldn't help it. So,
I should just jump in and say that's really mean. That's really mean, because only one of them's a paedophile.
That's true, but they all seem to be pieces of shit in their own right. And I'm not saying that they're all paedophiles or that they should be treated as such. But I didn't have any time for the band to start with because I don't like their music. But that's just me being a little dick.
Sure.
Right? I can understand that's me being a bitch. However, Manowar seem to have this constant ability to piss off their fans and to pretend that it's not their fault. And there's obviously people who buy that. Because this weekend they were scheduled to play at Hellfest in France. And I heard rumours and then I saw a few stories about it, and we're going to read this one from Metal Sucks. But Manowar issue a new statement regarding Hellfest cancellation. So they were scheduled to play, obviously, and cancelled. Now, I think they've done this more than once. I couldn't say exactly where, what festivals, etc. But it seems to be a recurring theme, according to a friend of mine, Dan, on Facebook, Big Dan O'Healy. He was very much a big fan of theirs for years and gave up on them after the shenanigans of them just not generally being good people through many different reasons. However, there's a bit of back and forth as to why they cancelled. I've heard quite a few rumours. First of all, we'll read their statement. All right, so... Regarding Hellfest cancellation, our performance at Hellfest scheduled for the June the 21st, 2019 was not cancelled by the band. It was cancelled by the Hellfest organisers in their announcement that appeared on their websites. In the days prior to Hellfest, Switzerland, Greece and Bulgaria all witnessed our massive production that brought the Kingdom of Steel to life. We don't have these hands. We brought it to brought it to Hellfest because we came to play. Yeah, heavy metal! Or something like that. What have you got? We fought to give our fans the performance we promised last year at Hellfest, but we will not be pushed around by the Hellfest promoters who chose not to honour their contractual obligations and think they can do wrong to us and our fans. Those of you who have requested information regarding ticket refunds should contact the outlet. Apparently we're having a fucking earthquake or something. Those of you who have requested information regarding ticket refunds should contact the outlet when you purchased your ticket or the Hellfest organisers directly, as they are responsible. We are currently seeking every legal remedy available to us by law. Don't believe that's the case, personally, but what I would say is the rumours I've heard are as follows. They were unhappy with the stage size. They wanted to sound check the day before they were due to play and had a hissy fit because I think it was Knotfest or something was on. There was another act for the weekend, so they became quite pissy about that. They had brought way more pyro than they were allowed and had a hissy fit. They were told they couldn't use it all. And that they requested every other band play at 75% volume in comparison to them so that they were louder.
Worth pointing out all rumours.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Sure.
My favourite fucking sentence.
I know.
Allegedly.
You need
right?
it on this podcast.
So these are, as I said, these are rumours, definitely. Yeah. But if there's any band I can imagine having those rumours about them, it's probably them. And a good shout out to Deicide as well. They seem to be quite bad for just cancelling gigs. But that's just an aside.
Yeah.
I just...
it's one of those, like, I'll wait for some sort of statement from Hellfest. One probably won't come. But more importantly, when Manowar say we're currently seeking every legal remedy available to us by law, that's the thing I'm interested in. I'll keep an eye on this, and if any lawsuits are filed, then we'll get a lot more information.
But what's the legal remedy? They didn't play the festival. It's a legal remedy that they put the festival back on for one random day and let everyone who paid a ticket thinking they would see Manowar play. Are they looking for a financial compensation? Because that's not a legal remedy.
Well, if they legitimately, if their claims here are true, then it would be breach of contract, right?
Well, in that respect, okay. If they are due...
And it's quite an important one, because if they weren't allowed to play the show due to Hellfest, but they were contractually obligated to play the show, it puts them in a situation where the fans are pissed off, but the fans won't be pissed off at Hellfest. The fans will be pissed off at Manowar. Therefore, there's brand damage that is coming with that. It's not just, we didn't play the show. But I think you're probably right. I don't think anything will come of this, because I think this is just the kind of... It's Rob Halford all over again. It's like, this is what happens when you disrespect the gods of metal. Like, that's not how that works.
Stop it.
You were doing so well. Respect each other.
You were doing so well, Rob.
Don't boot people's phones into the stratosphere.
And claim that only gay men could front bands.
True.
Nah, taking a stretch for that one.
Yeah. Loch Ness, the terror of the deep, the best Judas Priest song.
I'm sorry, it's not Turbo Lover.
Yeah, fair. Loch Ness always made it. But to be Scottish about it, it buckles me every time I hear it. And I
thought this was a principality. That you are in Scotland if you are Scottish and you have admitted it.
I think legally speaking, when this house is sold next Friday, I think it goes back to being part of Scotland.
It returns back to the crown.
Yeah, I'm moving in with my in-laws, so their house will become a sovereign part of England until...
If there's anywhere that you can turn that amp up to full bore, it is definitely down at the in-laws.
That's actually a really good point.
It definitely is.
Tom would probably be very interested in that as well. I'd say to Tom, do you want to see how loud this amp can get? Should we...
I would bet that if you gave him any notice, he would turn up with a decibel meter.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt.
He'd get him buy one if he had to.
Yeah. When wiring up my pickups and stuff, because obviously I need the help of he has no experience in that. He's an electrical
Help from a
engineer.
parent.
But yeah, exactly. He was so interested, and the amount of times he's brought various pieces of electrical equipment over to measure different aspects of how the guitar does what it does. It's he's always interested in that stuff.
The engineer, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that engineer.
Cool. So yeah, seeing as we're aiming to record 2 shows today, I'm just going to go on to the next story, and we'll have this as the close, which is a shame actually, because this is a really sad one.
It's a bit of downer, isn't it?
This is a mega downer actually. No pun intended.
Good segue.
That was no pun intended actually, believe it or not. Megadeth Dave Mustaine diagnosed with throat cancer.
Yeah, this came out about a week ago, 17th. Pretty fucking gutting, to be honest, but I would like to think he's going to go down the same route as like Bruce Dickinson and stuff. He's going to be okay. He's just going to fight it.
Sure. Yeah, Dave Mustaine is the definition of a fighter, right?
Yeah, fair.
He formed his entire career and band out of wanting to stick it to another band,
One-upping 2 men in particular.
Yeah, he is the definition of a fighter.
It's a shame he didn't have the same cool excuse for it as that Bruce Dickinson did. Do you remember what Bruce Dickinson said and why he got throat cancer?
Eating pussy. Yeah.
Too much of a cunning linguist.
Yeah. Van Halen. You know what his reason was?
Tell me. Not to do all the fags he smoked.
No. He when he taps and stuff, he puts the pick in his mouth, and he was using a metal pick for a long time. So
he thinks it was some sort of like metal exposure poisoning.
Yeah.
Sure. Unless it's made of like fucking uranium or something.
Yeah. Are we allowed to make jokes about this situation with Dave?
No, to be fair,
we're levity to the situation.
I think we're making light of something that's pretty sad.
No, I mean I'm not even started on the jokes yet.
Oh no,
because Dave Mustaine, like, surely this isn't a new thing. Someone that goes, "Hello, me, it's me again." That's somebody that already has something seriously wrong with their throat. An incredibly unique voice, as is.
I'm not going to lie, I'm quite surprised he's not had any diagnosis on his throat since before now, because we know disrespect to him. There's times you hear live concerts that have been recorded, and he's just like, I don't want to say woeful, because it's not that he doesn't want to put the effort in. You can tell he's trying. It's that something's not right.
Yeah. I just think Dave Mustaine himself is not right. Like, there's something not right about the man. But he is one of my all-time idols, heroes. He has... defined the sound of my youth, and more than that, it's not just my youth, because there's what you do when you're young, and even if you move away from those things, you can never deny the influence that those things have had on you and will continue to have on you. When I pick up a guitar, especially when I put overdrive on a guitar, like, Dave's influence is there.
Chris and I were at band practice last night. Chris, the bass player in Part of Cannon, and we ended up jamming some of Lucretia, just out of nowhere. Was it Lucretia?
It
wasn't the start of the song, it was like a random middle riff from that album. I think it was that. I'm pretty sure it was him playing the...
I have I need to actually do this again. As you well know, like, I bought Rock Band for PS4 like a few years ago, and I was purchasing a bunch of things from the store.
Yep.
And one of them that I got, of course, was Rust in Peace, the full album, and that was fun. Just jamming that along.
I think my problem with those things are I always want to play the guitar, but then always think I'm actually playing a guitar, even though I'm clearly not.
Yeah.
And I'm like moving strings when there's no strings and just being a dick.
I love playing the drums on that, so I need to bust that out again, because that's a whole lot of fun. Pay tribute to Dave. So yeah, if we read information, unfortunately this is going to require the cancellation of most shows this year. Most shows, surely all shows.
They've maybe given him an amount of time that he can work up to.
Yeah. The 2019 Mega Cruise will happen, and the band will be a part of it in some form. All up-to-date information will be on Megadeth.com as we get it. Megadeth will be back on the road ASAP. So, meanwhile, Kiko, Dave, who's not a member of the band, he's not an owner of the band,
hired gun,
Dirk, are in the studio working on the follow-up to Dystopia, and can't wait for everyone to hear it. So,
to be fair, Kiko Lorio, Dave Ellefson, and Dirk Verburen together is going to be silly.
Yeah, and I'm always talking about like Rust in Peace, greatest thrash album of all time. Like, I saw a post just recently, someone holding up the vinyl for Rust in Peace and Master of Puppets, and like, you know, you can only have one. What's it going to be? And there was so much love for Master of Puppets, and I get it. Master of Puppets is great, but come on, come on.
Are we getting it because it's something you want to listen to all the time, or something because you've got a nostalgia for it? Because if you want to listen to it all the time, Rust in Peace wins hands down.
Yeah,
it's an album that never gets old.
Yeah, I've not listened to Master of Puppets for years, to be fair, so I should probably give it a go and see if it still just lights my fire the same way that Rust in Peace does all these years.
You know what? It probably will. I listened to it the other day for the first time in ages, and I was like, oh aye.
It's more like, you know, when I listen to Rust in Peace, like, it's just full of Marty Friedman, just with just ridiculous guitar playing, just peppered all over it, and Master of Puppets just isn't.
Poison Was the Cure is just...
I should also pay, you know, tip of the hat to Dystopia, the last album that Dave mentions in that quote. That's a great album. That is a fucking great album.
Kiko's playing on it is frightening.
Yeah.
There's no other term for it than frightening.
I'm really, really excited to see what they come up with. And I just hope Dave manages to pull through this and get back into a position where he can sing. This is a man that has had to stop playing guitar once, remember? So
yeah, that's right. He did lie in his hand and ruin the nerves. He would never play guitar again and he had to disband the band, you know. It's terrible when that happens. Oh well, new members.
Yeah, no, never play in the band again. So realistically, I think that's all I have planned for this episode, because I want to get a second episode out. Because again, just to reiterate, who knows how long I'm not going to have a house for.
You'll be okay. You can stay in my garage.
Yay! I will be, of course, taking. I'm taking my PC with me anyway. Not the full setup, just enough to be able to work. But I will have my Apollo Twin and I will have my microphones. So don't worry, guys. If we're desperate and we need to do a show, worst case scenario, I will take my fucking laptop. We will sit in Weatherspoons with a beer. We will set up the webcam. Set up microphones.
See, in fairness, that sounds fucking great.
Yeah, I think it would be more an issue with Weatherspoons.
Fuck Weatherspoons.
Yeah, fuck Weatherspoons. So who knows? I could have a new home. I could be in my new home soon. Could be still living in the arse end of nowhere for a month, 2 months.
We should do a couple of guest locations just over the next few months, just for a wee change.
Yeah, I'm up for that. We'll have fun with it. So anything else that needs to... actually, I had an idea, and I just wanted to float this to you, and also float it to
the general public.
The guys, please don't be the dog coming in.
The 6 people that listen.
Coming in. You keep talking.
Okay. I'm not sure what Levi's idea is, but this will be interesting. Just for context, Levi's got the groomers in for his dogs because he is a big sook and looks after them, which is what responsible dog owner, to be fair. And I think one of them's just coming back in from being groomed and they're swapping over whoever it'll be. I don't really have anything exciting to tell you guys at all, other than I cannot wait to get my new Ormsby because I am a big saddle. And, well, no, I'm not a big saddle. I am like any other guitarist. I love new guitar day, new gear day, just the most fun. And what I'm most excited about is the new pickups, because I've not tried any other pickups than the stock ones that come with run 1 up to run 8, which is the De La Creme and the Nunchucker, and I've not had any reason to check any other ones out because they do everything that I want them to do. You can clean them up, they'll take lots of gain, they're really articulate, they're great for big chords, they just ring through. That's, for me, at least in my ear, I hear that the Nunchucker's got this really nice kind of high mids sweet spot when you're down tuned and you're playing big long extended chords. It just seems to snap through. And well, the new pickups are the Concordia and past what the other one's called, but I'm very interested to give them a try. Very, very interested.
What's that? Sorry.
The new Ormsby pickups. I just went on a wee bit of a tirade talking about how much I'm dying to play this new guitar, dying for it.
Yeah, good. You've done our outro talking about Ormsby. Sorry for having to run off there, guys. Poor timing on everything. Currently, my 3 dogs are being groomed. My groomer is here.
I told them all for you.
And I've been sat here panicking, thinking she's going to come in, the dogs are going to bark, it's going to be a nightmare. But no, that was relatively smooth. So yeah, such is life. Anyway, so my idea was I want more games. I want more games for the show.
Okay, I'm into it.
You know, like we do need to go back to Album Club. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking something like a guess the year type thing. So bring in 3 albums from different genres,
Okay.
and have to try and work out what year it was, or words to that effect.
I'll be really shit at that, so it'll be good entertainment.
Yeah.
Because I am terrible.
But yeah, if anyone is listening, anyone has any ideas for games that you think would be fun to test each other on this type of thing, we're itching for things like that. Anything, because it's hard making content when there's not much news going on. We've not looked at any Total Guitar magazines in this episode. We'll be doing a couple of those in the next episode. But yeah, content. So any ideas, anything that you guys think would be fun. You'll remember when we started the Guitar Souls, the thing that I conceived doing a lot of was those 20 questions things. Mm-hmm. They don't work so well as a 2-person thing.
Not when I'm so shit at it as well, because the only person who seemed to get every single one of them was fucking Lyle.
Yeah.
Like every single time, you wee dick.
Yeah, musical knowledge, he's just got it, he knows it all.
He's like a music savant.
Yeah.
Asshole.
I do like those 20 question things, but yeah, something, anything you guys think would be fun, we're always happy to hear it. So as usual, please do like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. Get the word out there. Oh, feedback on the last episode, the erotic fan fiction. It was definitely our least popular episode in a while.
That makes sense. And what I will say is I didn't bring my own mug to Levi's house.
Liar.
Listen, I need to have some sort of defence in public.
That's my mug.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you've got a mug that says I love anal, it doesn't necessarily mean that you like receiving.
Well, in the context of you and I'm holding the mug up proudly.
Good point. Yep. Fair. Giver, receiver.
I'm a switch.
I don't know. I don't even know why I'm asking. I know the answer.
That's it. Power bottom.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. We do apologise for the erotic fan fiction in the last episode.
I don't apologise. I thought it was fucking great.
I think it's more a case of because it was immediately marked as not suitable for most advertisers.
Aye.
As all of our shows are anyway.
Because all we do is shit on people and
swear. Yeah.
And swear.
But yeah, because the word erotic was in the title, it was immediately blocked from YouTube's suggestions feeds. So
rubbish.
Fewer people saw that one, unfortunately. But do go back and watch it because it is both hilarious and terrifying at the same time. So yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting event in my life, reading that for the first time. Yeah. And then inflicting it on you, and you couldn't even read it.
I couldn't. It was.
I love how speechless you were at some of the comments in it. Like you were just like, I can't do this.
Yeah, can't do this. Too much. Just too much for me. Anyway, much love, guys, and we will see you for another episode in a couple of weeks. Laters. Oh no, bye, fuckers.
Goodbye, fuckers.
I thought it was one of my. I know. I feel bad about that. Until next time.
Bye, fuckers.